Hey everyone, it is Mr. Clutch here. It is late on Friday night. I'm up reviewing charts and wanted to make a quick video um, to kind of show you how to take low risk trades that may have high rewards. And so I did really well with this on Thursday on futures, so I wanted to kind of just make a video reviewing that and showing you. Um, just some situations where you can enter trades with very tight stops, so really low risk, where you may have big upside. So the first thing we want to do, I've marked out Thursday here just because futures are weird. So I marked out basically the live trading hours when I'm trading, and I'm going to go back and make the zones just like we would on our 2-minute strategy because that's what we're going to be playing. So it's going to be a little odd. I'm usually taking the high and low of the intraday unless there's something glaring that's different. So we obviously have a high back here on Tuesday there, so I'll run a zone there. Actually could probably bring that down to the top of that next body. Again, these are just like Casey makes them in our Team 2 Discord, so I'm just kind of mimicking his strategy. So this was Tuesday high. This was an obvious Tuesday low. And see, this is kind of a big zone I can make here because if you look, it really lines up with the highs, a bunch of highs here where it was really acting as resistance there. So I'll probably come up to, yeah, I think I'll come up to like the top of this here. Because that's your Wednesday. Let's see, yeah, that's actually, you know what? I may actually bring it. This may just be a big zone. Because here's your Wednesday low here, and here's your actual true Wednesday high. So I like that all in one. Just like, no, I'm sorry. Here's your Wednesday low. Let me go back and mark that difference. So if I just take it like that, maybe, and then there's an obvious one down here on the Wednesday low. I'll just run it up to maybe what it would truly be there. So let's just play with these three zones. This should be enough. So we're just going to look at Thursday alone. Actually, I'm going to go back on the 2-minute. And so I'm doing a funded evaluation right now. And so I've got a pretty ironed out system I want to use, but I knew it would be hard to get to the 3K using it with such a small, I'm doing the 50K account. So you've got a $3,000 profit target, and you have a $2,500 drawdown. So I realized pretty quickly after I blew up one account on the first, had a fudged a number on a loss, and then realized I wasn't just going to be able to trade for 7 days with my normal system and get to 3K without risking too much and potentially blowing it up. So I decided to adjust a little and basically made all that 3K or more than 3K in the first day of this new account. And so now I've just got to manage it for the next 7 days and not go below the 3K threshold to pass. So I'm going to show you how I did it and give you some ideas. So I'll just go straight to the point where I actually did it. So just to give you a quick idea. So as we're coming into this zone, right? So we've got our zones, and if you look where we started the day, we open here, we stick right on our zone, come up almost to the zone above, come down, make a high, lower high, and come back into the zone now. So now that we're in the zone, we're looking for a move out of it. But you also, I think we marked this on my review from Thursday, you kind of had this area where you could draw horizontal lines. As soon as it broke it, you could have got in and kind of rode that up. But so I was playing some things, but I want to show you the big move first and how I caught this one here, and it basically almost made the day. I had that line drawn out, but I actually went a little steeper as we came into this zone. I'm trying to remember exactly where I had this drawn. Maybe it was like something like this. It was more of like a guideline. Yeah, so it kind of walked up that. And so we're wicking into this zone, and we're obviously like, we can't get through here. So when we break down here and then we come under the 13, I entered a position here. But here's where what I want to get at, and what the whole premise of this video, and I'll show you some more spots and ideas here too. But I set my stop right up here because I thought, look, if we've broken down now, we're coming to 13. If we come back up and we make a new high, I'm out. Like, the trend is still up here, so it's such a tight stop. You put your stop here, enter here, and I'm going to be watching at the 48. And so, like I said, I may even enter. To be honest with you, I can't remember exactly where I entered. I may not even wait for the 13 to break, because the closer you can get to your invalidation, where your stop would be, obviously the lower the risk. So as we start, I think I actually took as we started breaking down here, even with the 13. And again, this was counter to the trend, but I could see that all the majority of the day we're working our way up to this zone. So I expected, if we go back and look at this zone, this was strong resistance. So I didn't expect it to just pierce through right away. So I'm thinking there's going to be a pullback, especially after our price action here showing this. And so I think I took it just really low risk, something in here as we start pushing off that trend line and below it. Just put your stop up here, and I got in and wrote this down. I thought, okay, maybe this is just a back test of the 48 and we try again to that zone. Kind of a 3-bar play here, so this was a little inside candle, I believe. If it had broke, I was trailing my stop this whole way down. If it had broke right here, the high of this on this next candle up, I may have went ahead and just had that trailing stop probably right above that. So if we reverse, if the candle's reversed there, I'm probably out. But then it just sold off. And so here, I actually timed this perfect because I expected to potentially see, a lot of times you see these big moves and they just wick right on the 200. So I was trailing my stop really tight here. I wasn't going to take any chances. If it kept going, I was fine because it was such a big move, and I had got so much of that, what I needed for that eval here. So I was trailing really tight with the stop, and then I think this candle here just came up just a little bit and got it. And so I immediately shifted gears and thought, well, that was a big pullback, but the trend had still been up from where we were earlier. It was a big run up today, so it's not unusual to have a pullback like that. So I flipped hips immediately, and I did the same with the same thought process. Okay, if this is our new area where we're going to bounce off the 200 here and not get through it, so as soon as I closed this position, I took a long and put my stop right below this wick, so that if we do come back down and take out the 200 and go down again, then hey, you know what, I'm stopped out a small amount of my winnings from this big run. But I actually timed this up and wrote it all the way up, and I think when it started breaking back down, probably here and breaking the bottom of this candle, kind of like reversing here, I ended up having my trailing stop hit. So I was able to basically get everything out of that move for the eval that I needed. So that just gets you thinking though, like think about low risk, high reward trades, even when you're looking at the 2-minute strategy. You could use this separate of the 2-minute strategy or with it. One of the ways that I see you could use with it, and I believe Momentum UK in the Discord, he does something similar to this. And if I apologize if I'm completely wrong, but I've just kind of seen him talking about it before. So let's just look back to start the day. As soon as we trend up and we're showing, we bounced off here, made a lower high. We're showing that it looks like we're going to trend up. Maybe we don't make it through here, but at this point we're watching pullbacks. Even if you let this go and you say, okay, we're up and out, and now we're coming back. This is where the 2-minute strategy can come in, and kind of what I think he does is you can set a limit order on the 200, and on the 13 EMA, and you could update this as per candle based on where your 13 EMA. If I don't know, depending on the charting, you can look and see exactly where it's at for that during that candle. Set a limit order at the 13, and then you just set your stop right below. You want to give it maybe a little room, or maybe you want to keep it tight. Maybe you don't want any, because so many times, look at this, we see these ticks right to the 13, even here. It didn't break low. So when we're trending and we're moving up, set a limit order right on that with a pretty tight stop below it. You get filled and off you go. or if you see it tap, just immediately, in options, if you can't correlate the two, just go ahead and be ready to hit a buy order when it hits there. And in futures, you could set your limit order right on that. And so yeah, then you're just riding it up. And so here you go again. It comes all the way up. You could have a buy order here on it, and hit two pretty decent moves there. I mean, if you're in futures and you have a buy order setting at 42.07 and you hold that thing, I mean, that's a big move before you might get stopped out here. So I mean, that's a 20-point move. That's pretty big. So and let's look at where that might get invalidated and see what it looks like. Okay, so we're here. This one worked, pushes back up. Okay, maybe you have one set here, right? And it hits. It fills you. Okay, it's trying. It sells off. Depending how tight you have your stop, you might get stopped here. You're definitely getting stopped on this one. That's fine. It didn't work out. Now you're watching again. Now, on these big trends though, a lot of times we'll finally see the 13 give and we'll see the 48 be our test. So set a limit order on the 48, because again, this is what you hear people saying: the trend is your friend till the end, right? So we're still going up until we see something that really is reversing this trend. Just don't fight against it. So here you go. You could put a limit order on the 48 here, 42.23. Set your stop just below. If it gets down there below it and it looks like it's dripping below the 48 and holding, then you're out, and you're out for such low risk. But this is how you catch this is how you can catch a massive move with super low risk. Even if you just put it a couple points below and it was a real small loss for the upside. Like, I mean, you could set that thing. Let's say you're at, you set it here. Let's look exactly where we were on the 48. And hopefully this is helpful a little bit. And I'm not just, this is just me looking at a chart tonight, and I had a lot of thoughts about this, and then how my reviewing how that Thursday those plays turned out, and seeing some things. So on the trend days, how you can play this. So let's see, we're at 42, 23, 25 on here. So if you set that at 25, look, it literally was the low of that candle, 25 cents lower. Maybe you set it $1 back. You set it 1 point back. 40, so 42, 22, 25 right here. A 1 point stop. So you're risking almost nothing. And that thing goes from 43.25 where you get filled up to, that's a 10-point move. If you hold through this and say, hey, I'm going to let the 48, if we lose it, I'll get out. If you hold through that, 43.25 to, that's a 16-point move. So you could do the same thing here. You could set your buy order as it's going back to back test 48. Hey, and if you don't get filled, maybe along the way here, look here, you wouldn't have got filled on this one. You've got it set again, or you've got it set as you say, hey, we're trending out of here. You set it back here, it doesn't get filled, and you're thinking, man, I missed it. And you get a couple opportunities. So, and then eventually you're looking, and maybe you get in here with that same thought process, and then we're shifting as soon as the other part of this is zone to zone, right? We'll hear Casey say it all the time. Look, if we clear this zone, we're going to look for a move up to that next zone. So as we're climbing out of this zone and moving up, it looks like, hey, at some point we're going to go test this. And so that's why you're thinking about that from the trend. But as soon as you hit this, and especially as we look back at as big as resistance as that has been, now we're thinking, okay, now we've hit it. Let's see how we react from there. So yeah, just just keep that in mind as you're looking for high reward trades with low risk. You could have done the same thing today. Let's see, where is it our open? So we're opening right in here. We actually look like we're going to go down, but again, 200. Maybe set a buy on the 200 if you still felt like it was strong. But the trend, I didn't get the. Yeah, actually, so we had to go way back to mark zones here. We're not going to do that right now, but as soon as you're trending up here, maybe you set it on the 13, put it all, a point down, you get stopped here. You're thinking, okay, well now the 48's our test. Probably get filled here somewhere. There's a 12-point move. So, yeah, just keep your losses small, and then ride out you can, have those tight stops, and you might be able to catch a really big move this way. So, not something groundbreaking or super secret or anything, but just something to think about when you find ways to find entries where you have super tight stops. You're not risking much to find out if a trade's going to work with massive upside, and that's what you'll see on a lot of these. So try to keep it simple, try to look at it that way, and again, I don't know if this is helping anyone or not, but it was just something that was on my mind tonight, and kind of reviewing what I was doing to try to get that work with that funded evaluation. I think on the day, going back, if I look back at this, I had 14 trades, 8 of them were losses. So there were times, and I wasn't doing exactly what I said throughout the day. In hindsight, that would have been the way to do it, but I did not. But I had 14 trades, 8 losses. I think the 14 trades were, $100 to $150 average, and then the wins were like $700 averages. So it was a big winning day, but still had more losing trades. But again, I wasn't risking much to find and finally catch a big move. So again, not sure if this is helpful. If it helps one person, then I'm happy to share it and just kind of get you thinking more about risk to reward in your trade. So I hope everyone has a great weekend, and we'll see you back on Monday for some more trade reviews, hopefully.